Today we're talking about dailies. In gaming, dailies can be an important reason why a player will continue to return to a game, even if there isn't active content that they want to work through. And in life, it's important to have dailies too. Now, as a disclaimer, that doesn't mean that you should have dailies replace the main story quest, or your side quests, or any of the other things that you get value out of in the game. But there are times when you just don't necessarily have anything you want to do in the game, and it's useful to have something that isn't necessarily official content, which you can just log in and do, especially if you're not in the mood to do traditional questing. Where I'm going with this is that in life, we need to have our own dailies that we go to, routines that help keep us on track when we don't necessarily know exactly what we want to do, when we might be tempted to go into AFK mode and just vegetate, scrolling through some sort of social media, or just doing nothing in particular other than allowing minutes and hours of our lives to pass on short videos or something of that nature. Now, if you have a list of things that you want to make your dailies, your routines, my recommendation is to keep the list reasonably short. Don't make it so long that you can't get through it ever in a single day. At the same time, don't always fixate on getting through all of those things on your list every day. If you can, that's great. But if you put something down on your daily routine and you don't get to it because something else comes up, that's okay. But don't always start at the top of the list and always miss the same tasks every day. If you miss something that you wanted to do today, then pick up where you left off tomorrow. So if you don't get everything you wanted to accomplish done, you at least are not always missing the same things. There is a duality in almost everything. The duality here being that on one hand, you don't want to have a list of things you do that's so short that you just never have any content at all. Example, if you played just one game and you made that your only interest ever, always, then you might run the risk of running out of content for that game, finding yourself in a content drought, and then starting to not like that game as much, and maybe even become frustrated with it because it wouldn't be enough. And if that is your experience, the solution is not for the game to be more. It's for you to add some diversity to your portfolio of things that you're focusing on. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you are so surrounded with priorities and things that are cool and squirrels that you're chasing, that you are never able to just mindfully step into something and be present in it in a thorough way. If your entire to-do list is less routine and more a never-ending tally of all the things that you've said you wanted to get into and dabbled in a little bit, but never actually done anything with, then your list is probably too long. Going back to what I said earlier, I do think a good rule of thumb is to keep your interests limited to a list small enough that you could conceivably get through all of those things comfortably on any given day, assuming other things didn't come up. That way, if you don't have a lot of time, then you can still do all of those things, just not for as long, perhaps. But you can still have a sense of completion and satisfaction, knowing that you've touched in some way all of the things that are currently on your priority list. That, of course, doesn't mean that you can't change those things later. It's possible to finish a game and then move on to another one. It's possible to finish that writing project and then begin a new one some other time. You don't have to rigidly stick to the same routine forever. It can change. Mostly what you're trying to do is to train yourself not to waste time on things that you haven't given your consent to. It's okay to do things that are not really important, but not if you didn't give those things your choice willfully to be involved in them. There's a difference between sitting down and watching a movie because you said, I think I would like to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy in its completion on my next day off. So I'm going to take 9 or 10 hours and I'm going to watch all 3 of the extended edition of the Lord of the Rings. And so you do that. Or you come home from work, you're a bit tired, you pull out your phone, and next thing you know, an hour and 30 minutes have passed, and all you've been doing is casually scrolling through your phone. One of those things is instinctive, and it accomplishes nothing. At no point did you even make a mental decision to do what you did. The other, one might debatably say is not important, but you chose to do it, and that is the difference. Life doesn't have to be filled with an endless array of extremely important, high-pressure tasks. If you live your life trying to jam as much important stuff into your life as possible, and you think that that's the meaning of life, that that is what is going to make life happy and give you a legacy worth having, you're missing the point. It's like saying that trees in the forest are successful only if they reach a certain height. You can't enjoy nature that way. And you can't enjoy your life if you're always chasing a rigid standard of completion. Some of the best things in life, just like the best experiences in a good RPG, arise from side quests you didn't plan to do, from random player interactions that you didn't plan to have. Life is, for all of its planning and all of its effort, often a game of luck and often defined by the unexpected. So be open to those things. Just make an effort to consciously give consent to the things that you do with your time. A good place to begin is to know what you're doing right now and to know what you're going to do next. start there. You might be surprised how difficult that is. To just know what you're working on right now and know what you're going to do next, even if you have the right and the option to change that at any given time. It's amazing how difficult it can be to just, throughout the entirety of one day, remain in control of your own mind. Let's begin there. To be mindful, to be conscious, and in all things, to make the best of our adventure in life. Till next time, thank you for watching.